Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. I want to focus in one of the indelible experiences with engaging in a relationship with a narcissist or psychopathic individual who is extremely manipulative, and that is the feeling of feeling like a fear of losing this individual. One of the true hallmarks of a manipulative individual is the feeling that they create, the aura. The blueprint of the relationship is that you feel like your behavior must revolve around their mood. They become more significant to you than you are to yourself. They become more important to pleasing than you become to pleasing and directing your own life. You become very separate from your life purpose, or what I call your inner instinct, your inner guiding system, your inner intuition, or really what is important for you to attend to. You tend to abandon those or really make your own inner guidance system as you essentially override it. It is a violation of boundaries, which are created through the manipulation of a psychopathic or narcissistic individual, where they violate your boundaries emotionally, physically, spiritually, where they break you down. They become more at the forefront of your life than you become at the forefront of your life. So you have to constantly work to keeping them happy, keeping yourself available for them, keeping them always at a very high, what I would call basically a high maintenance relationship, where you constantly have to be texting them, sending photos to them, responding to their phone calls, being always at the ready, being at the alert, being available for them. You open yourself up to so much of their suggestiveness that you become constantly laid waste for them, and you become walked over. You don't realize that you're being put into this position, but it's because of the original love bombing, the idealization that occurs through the match of this relationship, that you begin to abandon your own inner guidance system, your own inner awareness. So things that said this is going too far, you tend to override that voice within yourself, that voice of reason, that voice of being rational, that voice of keeping you safe. You begin to ignore that inner voice that keeps you safe, that keeps you kind of living in reality check. And maybe you were forced into overriding that voice. If it was a family member, if the psychopath was a family member, and by virtue of their relationship, being a parent or being someone who is significantly older, an aunt, an uncle, or someone who is taking care of you, and they had violated your boundaries because you weren't emotionally developed enough, so you had to attend to them as the authority, then that becomes even more difficult to separate yourself from. So this inner guiding system is what needs to be turned back into and really sort of reset and rebooted within yourself. You need to come back into really relaxing into your own perspective, your own empowerment, your own action. And you need to take a radical action to that, because you've been radically responding versus radically acting. So when you realize that this really creates what I would say a fear of perceived loss. So when you're feeling like my life is going to unravel if I do no longer have this person in my life, that is part of the irrational thinking. And that is part of how the psychopath or narcissist will manipulate you into feeling like they are, in essence, a crutch to you in your life, that you cannot exist without them. You cannot exist without their love, without their attention, without their pictures, that you're gravely missing something. They create this perceived importance or perceived really fear, obligation, and guilt if you're not there for them. And that is by virtue of their commands, by virtue of the environment that they create around themselves, the charm, the way that they have been able to push you and push your buttons before. Unbeknownst to you, they had taken advantage. They had bullied you, sexually bullied you, physically bullied you, emotionally bullied you, verbally bullied you, and you did not, unbeknownst to you, you did not declare the boundaries. You maybe by virtue of the relationship, you couldn't, because if that was a parent, or by virtue of their emotional overwhelm and emotional dysregulation, you became basically the pacifier to them. And it became extremely important for you to keep them happy and keep their needs at bay, really to the refuting of your own needs and your own inner voice. So you need to attend to that and go and say basically, wow, I had to override so much of my own inner common sense. I had to override so much of my own inner guidance system. Things got way out of control. Things got way out of perspective. And unbeknownst to me, really basically in the name of love, I had committed to this individual in this manner. I had overcommitted. I had made myself too much a tool to them to get what they needed in life. And that had put me at second best, or that had put me at second mast. And that's no longer what I'm going to do, because that's no longer what my higher self, that's no longer what is required. That is living in error, and that is living separate from my own personal empowerment. And that is living really to my own demise and my own destruction to keep along that path. So whatever action steps you need to do to get your life back on the helm, and like I suggest here, the recovery pages, learning to really drain yourself out of a lot of that toxicity. Get out all the harm that had been committed to you, the strange things that they did, the strange things, the way that they treated you. Write it all out, and it can take the form of, I am so sick of, I am so disgusted of, that should have never happened. I forgive myself. I didn't see that coming. I got carried way too far away. I'm so sick of my life being overrun in this manner. So those are your brain drain pages in the recovery journal, where you basically release a lot of this been building up. And as you begin to release that and you get it out on the paper, when you get it out, you're able to basically release it, and it's no longer contaminating your inner life. It's no longer causing you to become derailed and bottled up, because what really remains bottled up continues to direct your life in an unconscious manner. And that is not good, because if your life is being controlled and directed in this manner, you're going to feel like you're off. You're going to feel like you're unhappy. You're going to feel like you're developing a lot of these idiosyncratic behaviors, living fearful, living paranoid, living hypervigilant, looking at things strangely, and you're not able to fully engage with life in a very happy, peaceful, safe, secure manner where you're basically able to receive all the good that life has to offer. And it's time to get back to that state. Enough with giving your life over to this manipulative individual. You need to reclaim this. And so in the recovery journal, we talk about the brain drain pages. Basically, no matter where you are, bring your notebook with you. Get your notebook. I write a lot. I have a lot that I'm working on for my book, and I have a lot of very important kind of sections that I'm going to be putting out there for you to recover and heal. And there's a lot of questions that you need to be able to get to help open yourself up. But number one, I understand that you have to get this out because it's been bottled up and it's becoming festering. So get your recovery journal out. Begin to write freehand, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be grammatically correct. It can just be basically, whatever it flows. I had such a great sleep last night, or I didn't have such a great sleep last night. I can't believe I ate that. I can't believe I drank that. I can't believe, we need to do this to the house. Whatever it is that comes to flow, just get all that out in the beginning. And begin to do that on a daily basis, because you become more in tune to your inner voice. And that is what has been shut out by this manipulative individual. You need to get back to that in the I am, and I feel, and I want to be, and I want to have, and I see myself. And we're going to be going through a series of interesting affirmations and a series of questions to help get back to really that true self, as kind of has been blocked over and really sort of covered over or concealed after being through a manipulative relationship. And I have some very provocative questions that can help you open up and release that inner power, which can help you feel so much more liberated rather than the negativity and the perception alteration that they have created through being in this world of a psychopath versus in the world of your own best interest. Peace and harmony with you here today. I hope these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.